Welcome to BIV Today, the daily business podcast from the Newsroom of Business in Vancouver. I'm Kirk LaPointe, publisher and editor-in-chief. Today, part one of a two-part series featuring this year's winners of the Chief Financial Officer of the Year Awards from us at BIV. These awards and today's podcast are brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of British Columbia and by PricewaterhouseCoopers. The CPA, BC, and PwC are stalwart supporters of these awards and of our effort at BIV to recognize excellence, and we are appreciative. Now, today you're going to meet the winner in our large company category, Barb Harwood, CFO at Thunsderbird Entertainment, and the winner in our transformation agent category, Tom Webster of First West Credit Union. It's Chief Treasury and Investment Officer there. Good to have you both.
Thank you very much.
Barb, take us back to March 2020, maybe even sooner. What did you realize you had to do?
Yeah, gosh, it all happened so fast, didn't it? We were really fortunate. Our IT department at Thunsderbird kind of had their eye on the pulse of what was happening with China. And around mid-March, we sort of called it, and we were able to get our 1,000 employees, remote accessing in from their homes within 2 weeks, without a beat in delays of work or overages for our clients or anything like that. So kudos to our IT department because they were fantastic.
Tom, tell me about your mass exodus episode.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were well prepared, as Barb had just mentioned. For the previous several years, we'd been trying to transform our business, and we run a multi-brand model. So we have a lot of distributed workforce in different cities. So we've been working with technology to allow them to conduct their work online. So workforce enabled procedures were in place. So our 1,200 staff were quickly able to transition into a full distributed model. In fact, the only area we hadn't tried before was payroll. So we were all very happy when payroll worked.
Yeah, that's part of the thing. You actually have to make sure it does work. Listen, both of you, you're supposed to exude confidence and leadership in the work you're doing, but what was worrying you in all of this, Tom?
The first few days, I think the worry from at that time I was the chief financial officer and treasury reported to me was that it would be very similar to the 2007-2008 market crisis. So we were concerned that there would be liquidity shortages, and in fact we were concerned about large withdrawals of cash, just so people had cash. Neither one of those did transpire. As we all know, the Bank of Canada and the federal government quickly stepped in and provided lots of liquidity. So the initial challenges quickly disappeared from that perspective. It was then helping our members with their loan facilities. So we had an outreach program with all of our members. We had a program to help members that were in difficulty who might have lost jobs. So the teams on the credit side and the branches really stepped into it, and in a big way made sure that the transition for our members was not as negative or impactful as it might have otherwise have been.
Yeah, Barb, bring us back to that point and some of the initial worries that you had.
Yeah, I think the initial worries was just to make sure that we could continue our work, efficiently and effectively. We had big concerns about, our team and their health and safety, especially their mental health, just suddenly being, sent home, and their ability to work in, not ideal environments, of course. Not everyone has an ideal home situation. So we put in a lot of things, additions to our benefits plan to try to help them along. And HR department was great in their ability to try to bring people together remotely. I mean, that was a completely new thing, trying to engage people in sort of somewhat fun things to make sure that not everybody, that everybody was engaged and felt included.
What kind of fun things? What are you talking about?
Oh gosh, we've had scavenger hunts and costume parties and lots of, a big part of our company is animation. And so there was drawing instructions and people presenting, all sorts of things.
Mm. When you look back, both of you, at this period for yourselves as individuals and as professionals, of course, what did you have to reach back into yourselves for? Tom, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, you touched on it earlier. I think positive as a leader, it's really important to provide leadership and give a sense of confidence to ensure that staff and others are understanding that we have a plan and we are on the right path, and that to remain focused on the end objective, which for our case is helping our members through the financial difficulty. And I think the real challenge in achieving that was, as we've said, we're all working from home, so it's very hard to get together and rally the troops as we might have traditionally done. So, I think it's a different way of leading, and maybe it's a way that leaders in the future are going to have to rely on more. But confidence, I think, really inspiring confidence and making sure that people know that, you've got your back, their back, and that we will get through it. And, I think that from my personal perspective, just having gone through the market crisis of, 2007, 2008, it really was quite helpful to take some bearings off of that.
Yeah. Barb, what did you feel you had to reach back into?
Yeah, similar to Tom, positivity and optimism, that everything will sort of work out, and that everything will keep going. And also a change of, a change of the kind of leadership that I usually do. I usually group leadership, I'm usually having groups and group chats and stuff like that. And so trying to individualize my correspondence, and also to just be an over communicator. The more people understand and know what's going on, and the less they're in a black hole, the more comfortable they feel.
Yeah. I'll ask you first, Barb, on this one. What have you come to value during this period that maybe you didn't value as much before it?
Well, I valued this before, but I really value it now is my team. I just can't say enough about my team. I've been at Thunderbird for 17, 18 years, and it's grown from just myself to a team of around 22 people, and I really appreciate how everybody just stepped up and did the job that we needed to do, despite their home challenges and things like that.
Tom?
I'd have to start off with exactly what, as Barb said, the teams, the people, how they rose to the occasion, how individuals showed and displayed their own leadership. A person didn't have to have the word leader in their title or manager. It was quite impressive how everybody really stepped up to the challenge. And I think I also appreciated all the work that the teams had done in preparation of just furthering our business model. It really allowed us to be successful. And right in the midst of the outbreak of COVID, we were just installing and beginning the install of a new ERP system, which is a fairly significant undertaking at the best of times. But to do that remotely, working with our consulting firm, our internal staff, and as well as the supplier of the ERP system, it was remarkable to see everyone pull together and deliver on the objectives of the project.
I think, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, Tom, that's very interesting because we also implemented an ERP system remotely, and I completely understand the challenges you might have been facing as well.
Yeah.
You both talk highly, of course, of your teams, and I've heard so many managers and executives talk about the same way, and we feel it here too. But not everybody can step up. Some people struggled in this period, and I want to get a little bit of an insight from both of you about how you dealt with people who were struggling. Barb, do you want to start with it?
Yeah, I think it comes again back down to communication, support in other ways, in terms of benefits and who they could reach out to, and just allowing them to access as much help as possible.
Tom?
Yeah, picking up from that theme, I think it's always important as a leader to not assume if there's something not going well, to make an assumption about it. So to talk to individuals one-on-one, and then also to really help enable them to be successful. So typically we would, pre-COVID, maybe have a team meeting or bring different stakeholders together. So I think I really wanted to, when we had to be separated, to use the technology. Teams is very effective to Microsoft Teams to pull together meetings. So just anticipating where roadblocks might be, reaching out to people and saying, here's how we can move this forward, and just helping them be successful.
I want to ask both of you again about this. What did you learn about yourselves in this period? Barb, do you want to start with that one?
Oh gosh, that's a good one. Resilient. I knew I was resilient, but I think, all the changes that the company went through during this challenging time allowed me to understand, the strength of that, and that it's just always good to be really open to anything that might potentially happen.
These sound pretty positive, don't
Yeah,
they?
absolutely. You learn things when you go through challenges, and I think our team and our company have come out extraordinarily well, during this time, and we've all learned how to work together in just a different but a better way, I think.
Yeah, Tom?
Yes, very similar. I think there's so many people who are contributing to the success, helping members, helping each other, that it was a total team effort, and understanding that it's not necessary for the leader to come up with an answer, and to look for answers throughout the organization. And in many times, I found I could be more effective by being quiet and just listening. And it really was humbling and inspiring at the same time to see everybody step forward, because everybody felt the sense that they had to help. And today, with the floods that are going on, I see the same thing happening all over again. People are just stepping forward in our organization. So just knowing when to speak and when to step back, I think, is really important as a leader.
Did each of you have to have a moment where you had to acknowledge that you didn't have an answer for people? Barb?
All the time. And I agree with Tom that sometimes it's best just to put the questions out there and then listen to what comes back. I mean, I try to surround myself with experts, and I might not necessarily be an expert in that subject, but I'm relying on the people that I, work with to come to me to problem solve.
Tom?
Yeah, I think one of the benefits of being longer in one's career is I'm a lot more comfortable saying I don't know, and setting up scenarios or asking questions, and being very transparent that this is going to take a collective group of people to solve, and I have no idea how we're going to get the answer, and feeling very comfortable about that. And I think staff really appreciate that, and hopefully it's something that new leaders can see and follow in.
We've read a lot in this time about the so-called Great Resignation. Both of you are still here. Do you like your jobs more now, Tom?
I do. As you mentioned, Kirk, I've taken on a new role. I'm the Chief Treasury and Investment Officer, at First West now. I was the CFO for many years before. One of the things I've always enjoyed about my job and being at First West is continual change. We're always trying new things. Right now, we're working at moving the credit union federal and being a federally regulated organization. Lots of new things to learn, and to me, that's the key, is to continually be learning.
Yeah, Barb.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be, still here at Thunderbird. The team I work with right now is just extraordinary. I work with both the CEO and COO are also women, and so we have a really lovely sort of threesome that we work with a great executive team as well. And it's been a really exciting period for the company. Content has exploded. And, we're getting more and more work and having more and more opportunities to expand and build the company.
Yeah. But come on, both of you admit, it would be nice if it just slowed down a bit, right?
There's great Christmas vacation is coming up.
Yeah, got you. All right. Well, it's been a great conversation with both of you. Congratulations on these awards. And we're, of course, throwing an event next week in order to celebrate you. But thanks so much for your time today and the discussion. Barb Harwood of Thunderbird Entertainment and Tom Webster of First West Credit Union.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you, Kurt.
I'm Kirk LaPointe, publisher and editor-in-chief at BIV. We'll see you again.